Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai, or the 7 Deadly Sins, 305, Death Throes. Now, when I read the chapter title, I knew we were in for some shit, but it was still disappointing to actually see it, drawn in reality and actually happening. So, as you can probably tell already, I didn't enjoy the chapter. I haven't really enjoyed this last arc, and I feel like Taizai is really dropping off at the end here. It's doing a full fairy tale slash Bleach slash almost Naruto kind of thing. It's just not finishing really well at all. So we start off with Ban laying the hurt on the Demon King's physical presence, with both parties landing shots, but Ban landing the heavier, more infuriated blows after having seen and witnessing Zeldris' temporary game over, essentially. And all Zeldris really needs to do is insert a quarter, and he'll just start from the previous save point. So he's all good, really. I mean, he's not dead. At the very least, I think he shouldn't really be dead, and if he is, well, then that's just another bad point to add to the kind of shitstorm that Taizai's become at this point in time. Now, it was here that I noticed the art was a little whack too. I mean, especially the eyes in this chapter, especially Ban, I think it was. His eyes were just really drawn weirdly all the way through, and I think it might have been other characters as well, but it might have just been me. But I felt like the art was a little weird. There were most parts of this chapter, the art was always, the art was on form as it usually is with Nakaba, but there were some parts of this chapter where I was like, yo, this is really weird. Especially when Ban lets go of all his rage into the Demon King after calling him a scumbag and stuff. I think it must have been page 4 or 5 when the Demon King says that he doesn't need any weaklings in his family. Ban's eyes just look really weird and flamboyant and shit. I have no idea what was going on. Anyway, Meliodas continues to lay the hurt on his daddy in the spirit world, unleashing one of the most poorly named final moves in history. And I know this is nitpicking now, but seriously, I mean, it's called Trillion Dark. Bruh, who named that shit? I mean, how much more disappoint can be flooded and injected into one chapter? Trillion Dark, bruh. Come on. So carrying on, Ban continues to kick ass, but then the Demon King quite literally enters his death throes. He goes apeshit, fully apeshit, bouncing off the air and shit, while darkness frames him and kind of exudes from his body, but doesn't really encompass him like it did with what's his name, Estarossa, or Mael, when he took in the commandments. Now Merlin, as usual, seems to know instantly that the Demon King has entered his death throes, his dying stages, which rubbed me the wrong way, really the wrong way, because this is something she genuinely has no knowledge of. And seeing as we've no knowledge of whether there were other Demon Kings before this guy, which I assume there weren't, because he seemed to be the first Demon King that united the underworld or took over the underworld. It might have just been a tyranny thing, but she's never seen or read of a Demon King, because there hasn't been another Demon King supposedly before this Demon King. She's never read or seen a Demon King, read of a Demon King during their death throes. She has no experience of what that would look like. So, and considering no one else has ever seen a Demon King in their dying throes, how did she instantly decipher this situation as, yeah, he's in his death throes, don't worry? It's the way she walks up and confidently and smugly he's in his death throes, and I'm just bitch, how do you know? You've never seen this before. You have no idea what that would look like. And her know-it-all ass just pops out with this major presumption, and I'm not about that life. Merlin has been a huge source of annoyance for me this last arc, and this was just the icing on the cake, with her being OP and just random knowledge sprouting out of nowhere, random promises that we've never even seen. Merlin, for me, has been a badly written character for a long while, and I've been wanting to call it out. But a lot of you will probably hate me for saying that, or you'll probably have something to say about that in the comments, and that's fine, that's cool, but I just do not like Merlin as a character. Haven't for a bit, and this just kind of rubbed me the wrong way and proved to me once again that, Merlin is just one of those ones where she's just there to be like, ha, I knew this was happening. Ha, I was aware of this. And you just say, bitch, in this one situation, at the least, there is no way she should have known what that would look like. She shouldn't know how a Demon King's death throes would look like. So her identifying that, I don't know, maybe there was something to it that clicked in her head or something, yo, he must be dying, but the confidence and the way and she said it, I just didn't like. She even then says that the Demon King plans to take Meliodas down with him somehow, but we're given no sense of danger or urgency, because let's be real, how the fuck would the Demon King go about doing that at this stage? And how the fuck does she know that he's trying to take Meliodas down with him? I mean, like, that seems like the logical thing to do, but she has no idea that that's actually what he's trying to do, or even if he could do that. So, for all she knows, the old man, the Demon King, just got kicked in the nuts or something, and he's having a difficult time of breathing or some shit. So, we're then given another tiny mystery, which I think was pretty cool, but I'm not sure exactly where it's going to lead, and I'm not sure whether it's actually useful at this point in time. But the mystery to solve is, why did Hawk not go into the spirit realm with the crew to shower Meliodas in friendship? I've got no clue, and at this point, this is going to sound kind of harsh, but I don't really care unless it becomes a pivotal plot point, as in, like, Hawk gets possessed by the Demon King or some shit. If that happened, that would be another kind of, whoa, we're taking this the wrong way, Nakaba. But I don't really care for why Hawk didn't venture through to this spirit realm with them. So Ban stops the Demon King from flying around and possibly harming Meliodas' body, which is what I assume Merlin meant in terms of he's trying to take Meliodas down with him, even though she wouldn't have known that at the time because the Demon King wasn't bouncing off the walls and shit and had yet to actually damage Meliodas' body. Ban then kicks the Demon King into the air, where we get a cool combo prison attack from Merlin, King, and Elizabeth. And this annoyed me yet again, because Merlin and King should be basically fatigued to the point of collapse, at least magically, and especially in the case of Merlin, she's physically fatigued as well. So let me put this in context. Imagine the world's strongest man competition. We see a lifter break the record for the deadlift and the squat in the same day. He struggled his ass off to get those lifts up. His knees are shaking, nose is bleeding, he's vomiting, bladder's bursting, everything. He's trying his ass off, putting in every ounce of energy he's got, and he succeeds. Takes a 5-minute breather and then tries to conquer those lifts again and succeeds. That would be like, were you really pushing yourself maximally in the initial stages when you broke the record? So, like, that's the thing that I'm annoyed about with Merlin and King. Let me just round that up. Merlin and King were just trying to do something. I'm aware of that. They were just trying to help, but they should really have nothing left in the tank, especially something that can hold the Demon King for even a few seconds at this point, which is what it did. So I'm not too pissed off about it, but the fact that they were able to squeeze out a little bit more energy to house and imprison the Demon King, I'm just like, I don't like that either. So the Demon King breaks out, only to then be attacked by Hawk. It was at this point of the chapter where I truly just gave up. I was like, I've actually got nothing to say. Hawk freaking attacks the Demon King, bruh. Let's just I'm not even going to talk about that. Let's move on. So Diane hits the Demon King with a tower-based attack. I think it was Diamond Tower or something like that, which was cool. Allowing Ban to scale it at light speed and then pummel the Demon King through the tower, much like Luffy versus Arlong, but with his fist rather than with his foot. And this was easily the best part of the chapter. I thought that was really dope and an awesome combination attack. We then get the Demon King. Well, we're told that the Demon King has been dispelled from Meliodas' body, and the best buddies, Ban and Meliodas, kind of just smile at each other somewhere near the middle or top of Diane's tower, and they're just like, "Yep, we're done. We've completed our mission." And Meliodas is all beat up, but he's Meliodas again, and he's not in his cool body. He's in his original Meliodas form, which I was kind of disappointed about. I mean, like, this isn't really a gripe. This is just my own preference. I would have liked to have seen Meliodas in his adult form because he looked beefy, he looked awesome, he had the long hair, he looked so cool. But now he's in his chibi form again, and I'm just like, that it would have been cooler if he was in his awesome form. Great. I think that's pretty much it now for Taizai. I doubt the Supreme Deity will pop up because none of the Sins have anything left to fight her. If she does, the story would really become just convoluted. There'd be a whole bunch of random shit going on. It would be a mess. So I think most conflicts have been resolved. Remind me of any that haven't been. The only issue we really have left in terms of main story is removing the curses from Meliodas and Elizabeth, which Meliodas will probably do because he still houses the 10 Commandments. He'll probably still have to return to the underworld, but you can bet your ass that Elizabeth will find some way to go there with him, because I assume there's no sort of like lock or some shit that wouldn't, or barrier that wouldn't allow her to go there with him. So I assume she'd just go with him. I mean, like, if you're that kind of antsy about being away from each other for like longer than a minute, go with the guy, you know. So then there's the question of, will Arthur come back to life? Well, for Arthur to come back to life, I'm not sure if we'd need to defeat the original demon or something like that, which is where Cusack is kind of within. So is the original demon somewhere within this kind of last scene? Is he alive somewhere? Is he anywhere near where they are? Maybe they'll have to kill him or some shit to save Arthur. Should they have the sins this is referring to, should they be able to, considering they're all fatigued, they're all half dead basically? Nah, they shouldn't be able to, especially if like the original demon is at maximal power due to his, what's it called, climax or something like that. If he, that kind of amplifies his power exponentially the more damage he takes, and he took a lot of damage beforehand due to Miles' kind of big ass son. I forgot what it's called, his cruel son, but the larger version of it. So he should be incredibly powerful if he's still alive at this point, or he might have just melted away into the freaking background of the story somewhere. So I don't know, the story could go a number of ways, but I feel like this is really more or less the end of any major conflict. And that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. I thought it was pretty turdy, to be honest. I feel like this last arc has been pretty full of turd, and I haven't really enjoyed it so much. And Taizai, I feel, has been dropping off for the most part since this kind of war arc kind of began. Maybe not so much. I mean, like there have been some hype parts, there have been some awesome parts, but definitely the last 5 to 10 chapters at the least minimum have been poor in some way or other. Even though there may have been a majority decent part to those chapters. There have always been kind of key inconsistencies, especially in power scaling, that Nakaba has been really struggling to kind of solve for a while now. So once again, let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of the review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys. Hopefully, like, this weekend is going to be crazy. I'm probably not going to have a lot of time for reviews, but I have to fit them in somewhere, so I'll try and make some time to squeeze in One Punch Man, One Piece, and My Hero. Which, One Punch Man was good. I'm not sure about One Piece and My Hero. I haven't read them yet, but they'll definitely be out sometime within the next day or week. So I'll see you guys in a bit.